Can you beat Skyrim as a naked brawler? I love playing Skyrim, but every time I play, I end up being a dragon-slaying stealth demigod that can one-shot any enemy. So, to try something new, I've decided to get naked. Here are the rules for the run. Start a new game and kill Alduin. Avoid wearing clothing as much as possible. Don't use any weapons apart from punching. Can only use healing magic. All shouts are allowed. And I won't be leveling up, I won't be fast travelling, and I won't be eating any food or using any potions at any time. Just a quick disclaimer for this run. I'm playing Skyrim Special Edition on PC with no mods installed and no cheats used. This is a blind run, I haven't watched anyone else play this, I'm just doing this to have some fun. With that said, let's begin. Welcome to Skyrim. After creating the perfect Nord character, my execution was rudely interrupted by Alduin. After following Ral off to safety, I was disgusted to discover that I wasn't naked. But after stripping off all my clothes, I was naked and free. I tried to make a peaceful escape, but the Empire had locked the doors, and I had no choice but to use my fists as the key. Ralof opened the door, but more Imperials blocked my way. But they were no match for my fists of justice. After healing my wounds, punching some spiders, and poking a bear, I could finally breathe the fresh air again. The world was mine to explore, and after a peaceful walk, I was back in Whiterun. I said hello to the Jarl.
Really?
I introduced myself to the court.
I'm not a man. I'm a weapon in human form.
And Farengar sent me on a secret mission.
Housed in Bleak Falls Barrow.
After warming up by the fire, the quest for the Dragonstone began. Exploring the Skyrim countryside on foot was beautiful. And after some mountain climbing, I had made it to Bleak Falls Burrow. The bandits hiding inside were no match for my fists. But the giant spider proved to be a challenge. I tried multiple strategies, but the spider venom seemed to always kill me. New plan. How about I just run past the spider? I freed Arvel from the cobwebs, and after a light sparring session, we explored the burrows together. The claw opened the door, and I learned my first word of power. But the Dragonstone was guarded by a big Draugr boy, and his health was rather beefy. Round 1 was a close fight, but he knocked me out cold. But using my furious fists, round 2 was mine, and the Dragonstone was secure. Back at Whiterun, I eavesdropped on a secret meeting, and I handed over the Dragonstone.
The Dragonstone of Bleak Falls Barrow.
But the Jarl needed a Dragon Slayer.
I need your help again.
So, it was time to put my fists to work again. After patiently waiting for the dragon to land, I unleashed a series of devastating blows. It was a slow fight, but through the power of friendship, we slew the dragon, and I gobbled up a tasty soul. Balgruuf wanted to know the latest gossip.
Was the dragon there?
And after spilling the beans, I was promoted to Thane.
I name you Thane of Whiterun.
After borrowing some cutlery, I ran into Lydia,
has appointed me to be your housecarl.
and I made her my best friend. Let's go climb a mountain. The journey up the mountain would be slow, but there were so many nice people I met along the way. But we made it to Ivarstead, and I started climbing the 7,000 steps. My naked Nord climbed, and eventually we reached High Hrothgar. And after learning some dragon speech, the next quest was to find a horn. My hiking skills were a little rusty, but I slowly strolled down the slopes. It was a long walk, but the beautiful marshes made it all worthwhile. Inside the tomb, some wizards needed a good smack, but my naked body was no match for the flames. I sent Lydia ahead to attack the mages, while I delivered a bowl of face smacking. The tomb was chock-a-block full of enemies. So, after running away from all my problems, I discovered that the horn was missing. This means another hike was needed. After accidentally witnessing a murder, I was hunted by bandits, then I was chased by wolves, and just when I thought I was safe, I was attacked by cultists. After barely escaping with my life, Delphine handed over the horn, and I stepped outside to face the cult. But to my surprise, they were already dead. But they still deserve a proper burial, so I paid my respects. With the horn in hand, I was back on the road again. After 14,000 steps, I returned the horn and got yelled at by some old men. Overall, a fairly productive day. After surfing down the mountain, I had a heart-to-heart chat with Delphine, and we were off to investigate some dragon remains. A local drug dealer offered us some skooma, but the deal went bad, and we attended another funeral. But Team Dragonborn made it to Kynesgrove, and our second dragon fight began. The ladies fired arrows at the dragon, while my furious fists shattered his scales. Our teamwork prevailed, and after another cheeky soul snack, we all agreed to meet back at Riverwood. 2 dragons dead, 2 friends made, and I was naked and free. This challenge was looking quite nice. Back at Riverwood, Delphine hatched a plan. After running across the plains, getting mauled by a bear, and swimming through the rivers, we had reached the Imperial City. After having a drink with Malborn,
You're who she picked?
it was time to party. But sadly, Delphine hates nudity. So, I had no choice but to put on some party clothes, and then I hopped on the carriage. But the second I arrived at the party, I stripped down and I was naked and free again. I did my best to blend in with the crowd, and after meeting some distinguished guests, Malborn and I got to work.
So far, so good.
Unfortunately, my beautiful body distracted the guards, and I was being hunted. There were so many Thalmor, and they killed me again and again. I tried to grab the dossier and run away, but the door was locked. I was trapped. I tried to rescue some other prisoners to help me out, but every attempt failed. There were too many enemies for me to punch. Being sneaky was my only option.
What was that?
After many failed attempts, luck was finally on my side, and I managed to sneak up on a guard and steal the trapdoor key. It was a mad run to the trapdoor, and a narrow escape through the caves, but I made it out of the embassy alive. Back at Riverwood, I updated Delphine, and we agreed to save her friend Esbern. We went to Riften. Lydia made friends with the locals, and while asking about Esbern, the Thalmor from the embassy had found us. I tried my best to survive, but I just could not match their strength. After retrying, I beelined straight for the Warrens. Lydia and I worked together to take out most of the Thalmor, and then Esbern invited us in for a cup of tea.
Come in. That's better.
We escaped into the night, and Delphine and Esbern were reunited again.
Good to see you.
Karth Spire was our next target. but I was being chased by a dragon. But the dragon was a good distraction. The Forsworn were too busy fighting him and they ignored me. After meeting with the crew, we learned about the history of Alduin, but this meant I'd have to climb all the way back up to High Hrothgar again. At a local Stormcloak camp, they were giving away free horses. It was so nice to have a leisurely stroll through the plains, and I saved and quit my game for the night. But something very strange happened the next time I loaded the game. My horse had become magical. I don't know what happened, but my horse was now a Pegasus. I tried to ride the horse on the ground, and it simply slingshot around the map. I tried my best to tame this beast, but like Icarus, I flew too close to the sun. After dismounting and hopping back on, the horse returned to normal, and we climbed up the hills of High Hrothgar together. After clearing the blizzard, I reached the peak, and I met Parthenac.
Croesus, no.
It was time to hunt down an Elder Scroll. After descending down the mountain, I found myself a new horse. But sadly, this one couldn't fly. After a long journey on foot to Winterhold, Hogwarts was in sight. After proving my magical ability, I was officially a wizard.
Welcome to the college.
But the orientation was very boring. So, I jumped out the window. The Elder Scroll was hidden in some Dwemer ruins, so let's go spelunking. Lydia and I got absolutely destroyed by the Dwemer spiders. Like usual, the best strategy was to keep running. But the Falmer heard my footsteps, and I had a large fan base following me around. After panicking through the ruins, we discovered the beautiful Blackreach, where I was swiftly executed. But after breaking my ankles and pushing some buttons, the Elder Scroll was mine. On my return trip to the mountain, the Thalmor were up to no good. I thought Lydia and I could take them on, but their magic was too strong. But we patiently waited for the right moment, and when they least expected it, Lydia and I unleashed our counterattack. And together, we made Skyrim a slightly better place. After 21,000 steps, I cleared the skies, and I read the Elder Scroll. Watching the past was fascinating. I never knew that Lydia was actually a time traveller who helped slay the dragons years ago. After watching the epic battle, I could now rend dragons. But the cutscene was over. Now it was my turn to fight Alduin for real. Dragon Rend brought him to the ground, but I was saddened to find out that I could not do any damage. My beautiful hands, they're just too stumpy. I couldn't land a single hit on it. This would have to be a team effort. I used myself as a distraction while Lydia slowly chipped away at his health. And after a 20-minute fight, Alduin's health was exhausted, and he flew away. If I was going to chase him down, I'd need a dragon to help. Time to visit the Jarl. So, I need to catch a dragon, but I need the Jarl's help. And he wants world peace in exchange. The next section required hours of running around Skyrim on foot. So, to stop you from falling asleep, I'll try to keep it brief. I took 28,000 steps up the mountain. I organised a peace meeting.
So be it.
I convinced Ulfric to join.
Yes.
Invited Tullius to the party.
I'll come to this greybeard council.
Enjoyed the beauty of nature. 35,000 steps. And after all that running around, it was finally time to negotiate a peace treaty. The peace talks were really boring, but after making my own fun, the world was at peace, and I could finally catch a dragon. The owl kept his word, and I challenged the dragons to a fight. And Odoving answered my call. After luring him to the back, the trap was sprung, and I had caught myself a dragon. Odoving promised to fly me to Alduin if I let him go.
I could fly you there.
And after releasing the trap, he broke his word. Turns out Odoving is a big fat liar. I tried again, but my game was bugged. Odoving would not chill out. I had no choice but to load an old save, and after following the same steps again, he finally kept his word. I mounted my new dragon friend and made my way to Skovngarde. I was a Nord on a mission. I ran through the temple, but there was a claw door that I could not open. The Overlord had the key I needed, and after starting a shouting match with him, I used hit and run tactics, and I delivered the final blow. The claw door was no more. Heaven was in reach, so I ran past the priest and I jumped into the portal. I blasted away the fog, but the Great Hall was guarded by Sun, who wanted me to prove my worth.
Till I judged them worthy.
I made it this far. Surely I can beat him in combat. No, I can't. I tried running across the bridge, but I was smitten for my blasphemy. I had to settle this fight with words, and after spitting some fire rap verses, Sun decided I was worthy,
I find you worthy.
and I entered the Great Hall. After gathering my troop of heroes, we cleared the skies, then the final battle began. Now my hands are still stubby and small, so I used Dragon Ren to keep Alduin grounded while the mighty hero slashed away at his scales. And it was finished. So there you have it. My naked Nord had done it. I had defeated the World Eater using nothing but my fists, friendship, and shouting. This was quite a fun run, and although it wasn't too much of a challenge, I enjoyed playing through the game in a way I've never done before. I hope you've enjoyed my silly Skyrim adventure, and I hope to see you in another video soon. God bless you all, and have a great week.